Hello, welcome back. So I'm hoping this video doesn't take more than 5 minutes because my kids are currently napping and I want to rush this video before they wake up. I had recorded a video talking about programs that you could take to break into tech, to start learning tech or start a career in tech. But as at the time I wanted to edit it and probably post the video, most of the programs, the sign up dates were already closed. So I decided that I was going to record on that video. So before I fully record that video, because I don't know when I'm going to have that time, I decided to drop this one real quick. So I have registered for ALX twice, right? And I have dropped out twice. Hear me out, don't crucify me yet. I know it sounds irresponsible, right? But there's a reason, there's an honest reason. Okay, so the first time I registered for ALX was, I think, 2021, and that was my very first experience with coding and everything. So that was when I wanted to actually start a career in tech, 2021. But at that same 2021, I just had my first son. I had him in August of 2021, and I think I started talking about switching careers into tech sometime around, I think, November of 2021, and that was when I saw ALX. So at the time, ALX was free and they were offering the full software program, front end, back end. And so I registered. I did not anticipate how fast-paced or hectic it was going to be. But you notice they would warn you, they would prepare your mind before you start. They will tell you, are you going to be able to dedicate, I think at the time it was 10 hours per week, and I think it's still the same thing, 10 hours per week or something. And I thought, yeah, I can. I mean, I wasn't working then, so it was just my son I was taking care of. So I thought, okay, maybe I could do it. And I mean, I wanted to transition into tech. I wanted to break into tech. So besides, it was free, so I registered. When we entered coding properly, right? I think the first thing we started after the normal basic computer science, Git and all of that. The first coding experience or whatever that would learn was C+. I think that's what's called C plus or something like that. Yeah. So at the beginning, I liked it. I enjoyed the fact that I was now coding, but at some point I got stuck, and this is where I would like to warn people that are watching this right now. I would not advise a total beginner. If I would not advise that you start with ALX unless you have all the time in the world. If you are not working, maybe let's say you just finished school and you're looking for a job, you're just staying at home, or maybe you're just at home, like maybe a stay-at-home mom, and probably the kids are taken care of. Probably you have like a maid or a nanny or somebody that is hands down taking care of them, so you don't have to run after them and everything. So if you have that time, yes, you can be able to, because you have to dedicate time to do your research and all that, because ALX you have to research. The way ALX is structured, if you really want to succeed in the program, you do a lot of research on your own, self-study. You do a lot of self-study, and you do a lot of practice before your code can fly through, right? Because there's a system where when you submit your answers, the system checks certain things to be sure that, okay, these are present, okay, and then this code is okay. At the time I was a total beginner. I didn't even have that time to really dedicate, because I was doing house duties and at the same time raising my child. It wasn't like maybe I had a support system or a friend that was going to be encouraging me. I was in a WhatsApp group. I had like a few colleagues that were like, all right, let's just form this WhatsApp group and try just follow up on each other, something like that. So I was in a WhatsApp group. Every week when the project would come out, at some point I was just taking people's answers and submitting. And I knew this was not what I wanted, right? I didn't want that. So I just told myself, don't deceive yourself, because right now what you're doing, I think I did that for like a week or two. I told myself, right now what you're just doing is total. Take your time, gather yourself and learn this thing at your own pace, basically. So that was how I dropped out the first time. And so after I dropped out of ALX, I took other programs, online Coursera and all of that, and so that was how I learned. Last year was the second time I registered for ALX. So this time around, they had a fee and they had now structured their programs. ALX is no longer just that full stack software development program. So now they have like other programs as well. They have product design, they have virtual assistance, so many things. And then the full stack end has been divided into front end, back end, and then they have the pro front end, they have the pro back end. So The pro is like, okay, you know the basics of this front end, you know the basics of the back end. It's okay, the next level, something like that. So that last year, I said, okay, let me do this front end. I didn't have the basic knowledge, but as at that last year, I was pregnant and I had the finance for it. I registered. I wouldn't exactly say I had the time, but I knew I was willing to dedicate the time this time around because I had assistance here. But by the time it was getting due to payment time, right? I was now gathering, baby items. I was now packing my things. And by the time I went to the market, I realized that what I budgeted was way less than what market prices we're talking about now. We're supposed to make our first payment, and that was when I was getting my baby items. At that time, I had used up all my savings, so I could not now make the first installment. And so that was how I had to drop out. I'm a salary earner, right? So I was only going to get paid like at the end of the month. The next month, I could have been able to settle the ALX payment and all of that, but by that time it would be late because there was a deadline. In retrospect, now I feel like maybe I should have reached out to maybe management and let them know my current situation. So maybe they could have allowed me like a month to pay or something. But I just sort of relaxed. The thing is, I find it difficult to beg people for maybe monetary stuff like, oh, just give me a little while, I'll pay. So that was how I dropped out. And this time around it was finance. So yeah, take this from me. If you're going to be going into tech, you have to make sure that you have the finance, not just because of ALX, but because there are some other good programs that you have to pay for. And even if it's free, you pay for data. So now I just registered again. But if you have registered or taken a course before, you can't take it again. Whether you dropped out, whether you completed it, you cannot take it again. So that front-end development program, I can't take it again because I dropped out, right? Now I registered for the ProDev front-end developer program. And this time around, this one includes stacks that I have no knowledge of. So the front-end developer program is, I think, normal HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React JS. For this ProDev, it's Next.js. It is Tailwind CSS. I only know Bootstrap CSS, and I don't even know it that well. I still have to do researches on it. I have experience in it. It's one thing for you to search for something when you don't have an idea, and it's another thing for you to search for something when you have an idea of it. It's easier. And then I think I saw React Native. React Native, I don't have an idea. I know React JS because I have learned it. React JS is for web and mobile applications, that's websites, while React Native is for mobile app, like mobile app the type you download on Google Play Store. I always wanted to, do mobile app development. So when I started web development, I was enjoying it, so that's why I continued. But I gave myself like a timeline. I was like, okay, in so number of years, I want to have gone into mobile development. So having to register for this ALX course now is like it's like a dream come true, and I'm really excited for this journey. I'm so excited. I'm going to carry you guys along with me every step of the way. I'm going to show you guys. This is why I'm going to encourage someone out there. I think the closing date is on the 28th of April. And so I would encourage you, if you want to start a tech program or something, you should consider doing ALX. And now the fee is like really subsidized. It's $5 per month, and yeah, I already paid for it. So I don't want to have like a finance complaint or whatever. So now it's just time, and I am able to effectively manage my time now, even if I'm sort of swamped up with activities, work, kids, and personal projects, but I'm still able to manage myself. In fact, he didn't wake. So in fact, if you see, look, I have a pimple. Yeah, and the only time I have pimples is when maybe I'm on my period or when I'm stressed. And it's definitely not my period because I don't see my period when I'm breastfeeding. So it's definitely stress. So I know I'm stressed. And don't get me wrong, I do sleep, and this is why I wanted to make this video now this afternoon, because I know at night I want to sleep. So I know sleep is very important for my health, for my skin and everything. So if you are considering whether to register for ALX, this is your sign. ALX is very good. I love ALX because of the weekly projects and because of how it motivates you to make research on your own. And in this tech field, a lot of self-study and practice is really needed to get you better. And so this is what ALX would help you, unless you don't want to learn, or maybe you just want to play around. if you know you are in for serious business, ALX is good. The closing date for the new cohort, I think next cohort is in May, which I'm going to be part of, but I'm doing the pro dev. Yeah, so the next cohort is in May, and the application date is ending on 28th. I'll make sure I edit this video like very, very soon so that I'm able to post it way before that date. So this is my story on ALX, and so yeah, see you in my next video. Bye. Say hi.